Neakasa reached out to me and wanted to send me their M1 self-cleaning litter box to review. I jumped at the opportunity because I am actually quite unfamiliar with the newer generation automatic litter boxes. I do currently have one, but the last one before that was in my childhood and something my mom would buy when I was a kid, and they never went over well at all. Also, your girl has 11 cats, and they can use a litter box that is always clean. Cats prefer a clean toilet, and as clean animals, they prefer not to walk on waste from themselves or other animals. When you have a certain amount of cats, your frequency for cleaning the litter box must increase in order to combat any behavioral problems that may develop. On top of my one automatic litter box, I have 9 other litter boxes that I clean manually. The 3 giant stainless steel drums upstairs I clean twice a day, and the 6 plastic ones in the basement I clean once a day. Adding an automatic litter box to my routine will not change the frequency in which I clean my litter boxes, but it will add to the amount of litter boxes I have and create a space that is automatically cleaned at every use. Honestly, there will never be a time where I do not manually clean litter boxes. This is because I always want my cats to have the option. I feel with 11 cats, I have an obligation to them, and to make sure all options are available to keep them happy. That said, in this video, I am going to be honestly reviewing the Neakasa M1, and if my cats actually like using it. I do want to disclose that while I am not paid for my opinion in this video, that they did send it to me for free, and I do have a coupon code for $30 off should you want to buy any of their products. So for a little history, Neakasa M1 is new to the market for automatic litter boxes. It was first released in 2023 and is actually a first generation of self-cleaning litter boxes from Neakasa. The name Neakasa combines the words neat and casa to mean neat home, which symbolizes the company's mission to create a neat and clean home for everyone. It has a simple design and a premise that is user-friendly to both humans and cats. At first glance, the packaging looks great. Inside, you'll find a litter mat, which is pleasant looking and catches a lot of litter. It has an open lip so that you can just dump the litter back into the box. Then there are support legs that you have to attach. These are not anything special, but they are sturdy and functional. Then you have litter mat stickers, a quick setup guide, a very durable looking power cord, and 2 rolls of litter bags that specifically fit the Neakasa M1 waste bin. After that, you have the M1, which for the most part looks ready to go. You can remove it from the box by the handles that hold the litter bin together, but afterwards you're going to want to pick it up by the grooves under the M1, as these handles can handle the weight of the M1 fully assembled. My first impression is that I really like the open top concept. It is so hard to come across automatic litter boxes where they have adequate space for your cats. All of my litter boxes at home have no lids, and I do not like the idea of my cats being enclosed with their waste. It is not as comfortable for them, and with having 11 cats, making sure they stay happy is top priority so no behavioral issues occur. There are also buttons on the bottom where you can access the automatic features if you do not have access to your phone. The buttons include an on-off, clean, level, empty, and Wi-Fi. Once you get the M1 out of the box, they recommend you place it sideways directly on the litter mat to protect it. Then proceed to attach the legs to the bottom of the unit. I found these really easy to attach if you just look to see where they're supposed to be placed. As long as the leg is facing out, you are in pretty good shape. After that, you can place it back down and remove the waste bin. The bin itself has to be pushed out in order to utilize the full size of it. Then you can add one of the litter bags they sent. The bags are long but not deep. You just place them directly in the bin and pull a little bit of the string in the plastic crevices for easy pull out later. I normally prefer a little more firmness for waste bins, but it works and is easy to slide in. Although it is also easy to slide it in a way that it does not perfectly align, so I would definitely look down and double check, or the odor may come through. Once that is done, you can place the M1 in its proper place and add the litter mat to the front. The power adapter is easy to place as they have a sticker directly where it goes. Once plugged in, the M1 will engage a leveling cycle. We can then add litter to it. You are going to want some kind of clumping litter. I wouldn't recommend large pellets as you may lose them in the sifting process. After you add the litter, you will notice it automatically engages the M1 to level out the litter. This is one of my favorite features as it senses when new litter is added and turns the mound to a properly scattered pile of litter. I find more pleasure in that than I should, but I do. Litter should always be kept between 60 and 100% capacity. This way the unit functions properly and without any accidents. The M1 has advanced safety features that uses infrared and weight sensors to ensure your cat's safety during operation and to prevent accidents like pinching. My cats were curious right off the bat. They did their own thorough examinations, and most of them even used the litter box right away. Peter Parker was definitely the most interested as he was super fascinated by the way it would automate in different directions. The little boy just had to know what was going on. He's our resident tough boy, so it's no surprise he wanted to show it who was in charge. I did not catch on camera all of our cats using the M1 though, but the Neakasa app did elaborate in more detail the varying weights of cats that entered and used the litter box. There are not a lot of moving parts to this unit, which I really like. To clean it, you just need to remove the round bin and wipe it down. I have seen people soak it with a hose, but the manual instructs not to do this, and it should just be wiped down. I am assuming this is for warranty reasons, so I would be careful about getting any water in the crevices of the unit. The bottom half of the unit definitely should not be submerged in water because of the mechanics. The noise level, which runs at 50 decibels, does not bother me, and I actually find it reassuring just knowing it's working. There are definitely units out there that are louder than this, and I really have no complaints about the sound levels. Now, time for some cons. While it is more affordable than some competitors, it is still a significant investment, which can cause a lot of people hesitation. Also, size is a main issue to a lot of people. I hear complaints about the bulkiness, but honestly, I do not see that being a problem. To me, it actually does not seem to have that big a footprint, and I would rather my cats have more space than less. With the open top being such an important feature to me, I really have no complaints in the size department. The higher entry point may be more difficult for elderly cats that may have trouble climbing. They offer an additional step that you can purchase, but for most cats the height is fine, as jumping comes naturally to cats. I personally have not had any issues with height, and my cats range from 5 months to 14 years old. I think the most concerning con, which is also a con for really any automatic litter box, is the potential for any leakage. The company has included free stickers to combat some of this that you stick on the edges of the rubber liner so that nothing drips between the plastic and the rubber. I did not realize what stickers were for at first, so I have not placed mine yet, but I plan to do so the next time I deep clean the unit. On this note, I also worry about when the unit is completely open in the front during the litter leveling cycle. If a cat jumped in during this part of the cleaning cycle, it could certainly create a mess. Luckily, there's an option in the app that actually allows you to disable the sensors at this point during the cycle so it continues to move even when a cat is present. I also wish they offered the regular M1 model in white, as it is a cleaner look. The gray shows any dust from the cycling litter too easily. Naturally, this is not a problem if your litter box is in a private space, but if you have a small apartment where it is out in the open, it may be something that bothers you. On that note, they do offer the M1 Lite, which is a slightly cheaper alternative. The differences are minor and include things like the color, which is white, there's no litter mat, it has one less roll of litter bags, and the most important difference being that it does not have an electronic door between the waste bin and the tumbler. This to me does not justify the $50 difference. The waste bin odor would be far worse than a regular litter box because it removes all excess litter that the waste would normally be surrounded in. I think when you're investing in such a high priced product like this, I personally just wouldn't want to invest in the M1 Lite. And honestly, that's just preference and choice. To be honest, certain cats that I have waste that smells a lot more than others. So to me, this is actually really important to have that odor control. Now, I know everyone's cat is different. Sometimes you can't smell cat's waste at all, and that's just perfect. I have a cat like that. She's a perfect gem, solid poops all the way around. But it's just not like that for everyone. If you want to avoid seeing the waste altogether, they have a pull and wrap feature where you just pull the string and lift the litter out. Having to buy specific waste bag is a con for me, as I always look for the most earth-friendly options, and companies that make automatic litter boxes don't typically cater to that, because it's just not their primary focus. Although if you don't mind not utilizing the pull and wrap feature where the waste is hidden from sight, then you can really use whatever bag you want. When you open up the app, you'll notice a picture of the M1 and its name, which I have named Magic Carpet. I'm just a big fan of Aladdin, and I thought it was cute because since it's automated, I thought it'd be like a little fun magic carpet ride for the cats. You'll notice it also tells you your litter levels and your waste bin levels. On mine, it has it as sufficient for the litter and normal for the waste bin, so there's really nothing that I need to change. When you enter the M1, you'll notice more detailed descriptions and functions that you can use, such as clean, leveling, calibration, and shopping. You'll also notice all the tracking that the unit does. It tells you every time it cleans the unit, it tells you every time a cat enters the unit, tells you which cat and their weight. So this is pretty cool. I really love this feature. You can see on here that Loki, which is my 19-pound Maine Coon, did use this litter box. That was pretty cool. I wasn't able to record him on camera, but I was really happy to see that with his large stature that he did end up using it. So then if you go to cleaning settings, you'll notice there are a lot of things here. So you'll have your automatic settings like your smart mode. So you can actually decide here your cleaning time and the amount of minutes that you want it to take after your cat leaves the litter box. This is useful in particular for cats that really have loose stools and you want it to wait a little longer for everything to firm up before you want the unit to start cleaning. And if you don't want to use your smart mode and you just want to put on cycle mode, you can actually just put the frequency. If you want it every hour to clean, every 10 hours, whatever you decide to do. It ranges from 1 to 24 hours. Then there's the automatic covered feature, which I really, really love. So basically when it's turned on, it'll actually shift the litter back and forth before it actually dumps anything so that all the waste is completely covered, so you have nothing that gets stuck during the cleaning cycle. Then you have auto leveling. I chose to keep this on too because I really like it. So what this is every time you put new litter into your unit, it'll just automatically level out that litter so that it's completely flat and ready for your cats to use. So I like this because there's no more sticking your scooper in and having to just move all the litter around. The automatic restoring is interesting. I don't personally have it on, but it's when your litter box is completely full and it goes into its cleaning cycle and it actually will just remain upside down so your cats don't use it because it can't dump the waste. So this is more complicated. I don't see myself running into this because I'm going to be changing out the bag fairly regularly on probably like a weekly basis. And so it's not really a problem for me. So I don't really need to use this option, but this option will actually allow it to return to its original position so that your cats are actually able to use it. The issue is the waste will just accumulate, which honestly doesn't seem like a big deal. But if you're away for an extended period of time, this might be an issue and might be interesting for you to use. So when you actually go into it, it kind of scares me because it says there's a risk of pinching the cat during the restoration. It wants you to be aware of risks and warnings before starting if you do actually activate this mode. You want to make sure there's no kittens that can accidentally get injured. You want to make sure you have a camera at home to monitor your cats and make sure that they're safe during the restoration process. And you want to keep the habit of cleaning the waste bin in time to avoid the situation in the first place. I don't know what goes into restoration completely. I'll probably review that at a later time, but the fact that it seems more risky and it wants me to check off these precautions makes me a little worried about using that feature. So that's just something that I won't be using in the meantime. Then there's kitten mode, which basically makes it so your litter box will not automatically start its cleaning cycle on its own. So here is an interesting feature, and it's the non-stoppable cycle. So when it's turned on, if the litter bin rotates within the safe angle, cats that are entering cannot interrupt the operation of the machine. So normally you would have a cat that triggers the sensors and automatically stops the machine. I am choosing to use it because I do not want any cats to enter the litter box when the front is all the way down. And that is the range here that it tackles. So I think that is something that is very useful and that I'm going to be keeping on my litter box. If I have any issues, I'm definitely going to be relaying them in a later review, but for now, in terms of cleanliness, I do want the cycle to keep going if it's near the front. Then you have a bunch of reminders that you can set for yourself about emptying your waste or adding new litter. And then you have other settings where the primary function here is going to be the cat setting. Now there are also things like child safety lock, silent mode, and 24-hour time, and reset weighing. I'm not going to be using those at this moment because I don't find it necessary to have all these extra precautions. Nothing bothers me. I don't have to worry about any kids. So, for those reasons, it's not something that I'm going to be using. And then you can also access the manual from here, which is actually really useful. So, unlike the quick start manual, the manual that you get through the app is much more thorough. And there's also a frequently asked questions section. So, a lot of the things that you might have questions about can be answered in here, which I think is really great. It's so easy and so functional. This app is very simple. I haven't had a glitch on me at all. It's very easy to use, super user friendly. The connecting was honestly the most simple thing. Like, you really just click the button on the unit and make sure to connect it to your phone when you have the app. So to me, the app is not something that I thought I would really use, but honestly, it's super nice and it's super convenient to have something that at the palm of your hand that you can access and use, especially if you're not around or that there's a circumstance that changed that you want to update in the app. It has a lot more specifications in the app that you can't find just on the buttons on the M1, which I think is really awesome. I know they do a lot of firmware updates, so I'm really excited to what they bring to the table with the app, but so far I'm really impressed and I really do like it. I personally haven't had issues yet, but I know there are people out there that say the weighing sensors might be off after some use. Now, I haven't experienced that because I have only had this unit for a limited amount of time, but I do plan on doing a review video much farther down the line where I do go into updates and how I still currently feel about the unit. The truth is, Neakasa is a new brand, only established in 2023. This is their first generation automatic litter box, and everything is done automatically. When you put litter in it, it automatically levels it out. It knows whether your cat just visited or if it produced waste. Once waste is detected, it starts its self-cleaning process that detects whether cats go up to it and stops functioning to prevent any injury to your cat. The result is a litter box that is clean after each use, and this can be adjusted in the app if you wish for it to take longer between cleanings or if you want to have it scheduled for specific hours. All you need to do is top off the litter and change the waste bag out regularly. The biggest job will be when you empty and clean the unit. It has an auto empty button so that it can empty the litter itself into the waste bin, and from there you can begin wiping it down. With how well the M1 works, I am honestly truly excited to see what Neakasa comes up with in the future. If you're interested in any of Neakasa's products, I have a code MEOW30 for $30 off your purchase and a link in the description. In a few months' time, I plan on doing a follow-up video to see if any of my opinions have changed about the M1. But for now, stay perfect and subscribe for more kitty content.